Hey, what is up, you guys? I'm on a roll. Hey, three in a row. But hey, I could not let the day pass without actually talking about this. I'm going to talk about Chronixx, and I'm also going to talk about Charly Black's. Now, first, this is what I want to say. Like, them thing I'm like to see. Some I like to see reggae, dancehall, and all things Jamaican progress. Now, everyone probably know by now that Chronixx recently had a sponsorship deal with Adidas or Adidas, and this is a huge deal. This is a big company, you know what I'm saying? And generally speaking, Adidas would sponsor, athletes and so forth. And even over here in the UK, like, Stormzy seems to be like a walking advocate for Adidas. But to see one of our fellow Jamaicans be used in that way, you know what I'm saying? It's a huge deal. And I mean, if you think about it from the financial implications, it would be a good thing for him, for his brand and everything, to have such a big entity like an Adidas say, you know what, actually, we want to use you for the face of our brand. I think it is a bigger deal than we even make it out to be. We are being represented on the world scene, you know what I'm saying? Young man, Rastafarian, Jamaican descent, great musician. You know what I'm saying? These are the things I like to see. More time, we'll comment upon the dancehall and, I'm not burn out dancehall, don't get me wrong. I love dancehall, you know what I'm saying? But to see something like this happen, it's a great deal, and it show us some of the things that we can aspire to be if we so choose. One of the things I'm liking right now as well is how the young artists, how they're going about their business, you know what I'm saying? As I said before, the elders, they started, and the younger ones are taking the baton and moving on to bigger things, you know what I'm saying? The older heads open the gate, and the younger ones, them are taking it further. Now, having that on an international scale can only be good for reggae, good for dancehall, good for Jamaica, because somebody somewhere is going to see this guy and think, well, who him? We never seen him before. And then start to inquire more, hear his music, then hear associated artists, and then it opens a whole floodgate of Jamaican artists that they would have probably never heard of before, and those people get to highlight, and so on and so forth. So, me and myself feel really proud for know that this is happening, it's a great feeling. When I saw it, I was just like, yeah, I like this, you know what I'm saying? When you look on even the likes of the Alkalines and the Popcorn, so I don't want to say about them, but them I do them thing, and no one can deny that, you know what I'm saying? Popcorn up on tour with Drake, and yes, it is Drake's tour, but the fact that he's there and representing dancehall is a big achievement, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it opens the gate to say, okay, here's Popcorn, I like the flow, I like the melody, I wonder who else is out there. And that's how it goes, because more time, I don't know if you guys are like, you go to a concert and they have a supporting act, and you hear the supporting act and you say, but wait, them are going with things, man. And then you go check them out. Then next thing you know, you buy them album. I know that's how it worked for me. So I guess it's the same with Popcorn. It can only be good for him, but it will also be better for our culture and our music and the furtherment of dancehall. I was having this conversation, and, people are talking. I mean, especially if you're not living, in Jamaica, and being out in the dancehall scene. You think about it, the people who buy the music don't necessarily go to, the people who go to dance don't buy the music, but they support in other ways. So everybody play their part. But in the international scene, in many cases, it can be said that dancehall is stagnating, because when you think about it, right? We listen to the war tune them, we listen to the bad man tune them, and from the beginning of the year, bear this tune. No one in the international space cares about that. So what happens? Dancehall begins to stagnate. Then the likes of the Drakes and the Rihanna uses a nice beat of ours, the glory days of dancehall, and make millions out of it. And then we're still fighting for who are the man. You see how that doesn't make any sense? It really does not make any sense whatsoever. Obviously, people are not going to agree with it, but you think about it. If they're doing dancehall, they're doing dancehall for the main aim of, yes, them love it, but two, them have to feed themselves and feed them family. You know what I'm saying? So again, I love how the younger ones are saying, actually, the clash thing is good, because competition is good, but how much of it is too much, sometimes too much sugar rot your teeth. So we have to kind of think about it from an international point of view and think, actually, I would love to see dancehall back in the clubs in the UK properly. But part of the reason why it's not in the clubs is because it's too violent. It is too violent. And as far as their reasoning, whether or not you agree with it, they're saying that violent music incite more violence. And if people are drunk and under influence of whatever and hearing lyrics like that, they might just be inclined. That's their thought on it. You might have a different thought on it, but that's what I'm saying. If you think about it, I would love to see dancehall become a little bit more mainstream, a little bit less underground, and I don't think it really reached its potential, Going back to my original point, kind of go on a tangent there, so hush. So going back to my original point of Chronixx, what I'm saying, for him to be in this international space, representing this brand, it's a great deal for us, and it can only shine a softer light on us, because at the moment, let's be real, what we are seeing is, for the most part, not for everybody, we follow up dancehall, like how we follow up dancehall, but for the majority, what they are seeing is the world star shit. People jumping off of buildings and like, why the hell is he up there in a tree with a girl? That's what you're seeing from the international scene. And then you're gonna hear some gun tune which you can't relate to, and people have to relate to the music. So yes, it is good for who understand it, but for the others that don't understand it, it just don't make any sense. So again, to have somebody represent, even if it's just a clothing line, just to have that curiosity, like, who is he, can open again the floodgates for something better for Jamaica, for dancehall, and for reggae. Okay, so my final point is Charly Black's. His song Party Animal has reached over 100 million streams on Spotify. Now, when you think about that, that is significant. Now, you're looking at basically two of probably the biggest songs on YouTube right now, dancehall songs, reggae song, is Spice, Summer Like It, which is over probably about 50 odd million, and then Egyptian, which is about 39 million. And probably to a cartel tune and to an alkaline tune will bring it up to a million streams or a million views. That is significant. Now, the song has been out officially a few years ago, but the video came out recently. I say recently, a couple of months ago. And to have 100 million streams separate from what is on YouTube, do you understand what a celebration that is? Now, one of my things is that with Charly Black, I feel like we sleep on him a little bit too much. He is one of the silent flag bearers for dancehall. So is Conscience, and it seems like nobody don't really look and say, so them money are going hard. We only really stick to the what I would say the main 3 or 4. But what about, Charly Black's Gyal, You a Party Animal? The man had tear down the whole of Europe, tear down the whole of South America with that tune there. You know what I'm saying? Charly Black's one of them man that we sleep on way too much. But to have 100 million streams, what a celebration that is for dancehall. And guess what with Charly Black, if you listen to him tune them, he's not modifying dancehall. He must sing dancehall right out how it's supposed to sound, what it is, and people still accept it. So what that mean? You know, if sell out for make a buck, he's doing it properly and still gravitating, and people gravitating towards it. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. It's a huge celebration, and I feel like, especially us, like as vloggers as well, I think that we need to talk about these things as well. Chris Martin did something similar recently as well. You know what I'm saying? These are the people who are, I would say, quietly getting on with the job of furthering dancehall, and at them man, they were supposed to blow up. I'm tired of that man this, that man that brother this, that man. I don't give a shit, actually, about who. That, let's be real. But it seems like that's what people want to hear. Said, that brother this, that brother, and that brother said, I want to, and I want to tell her to go suck that. Like, really? It really doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I just want to say big up to Charly Black's on that. And I feel like, say, in other tune, them are going to do similar things. Big up to Chronixx as well with this deal. It can only become better for him and for the rest of the dancehall. But don't talk now. Yeah, but don't talk. But now do no more video for the night. I hate that. I hate that. As I said before in my last video, I'm sorry that I haven't been consistently putting out like proper content, and it's just because of basically what's going on now with school. I'm just trying to finish up. I'm on my last hurdle. So that is the reason why. But I hope you guys are enjoying the other video. In fact, if you have a chance, go and watch the review that I did. Me and Brando Music Reviews, we did Blood Money review. Now, many people probably don't even know what Blood Money is, but it's Prodigy's song, and it is really talking about the system and how shitty the system is, and him just, you know, going in on it and explaining certain things. So I'm going to leave a link to that. You guys can watch it in your own time. So that is it from me. But don't talk. I ate that too much talking. All right then, guys. Peace.